presentation?
No, it's okay. You can carry on.
Okay. Yes. So now, if you have, just let me. So now again, I am going to be start on another most important topic, that is code splitting. And with that, I'll tell you some more best practices how we can write the code. So that will very help to give, like, to write a best quality of code and reduce the load on the development. And at the runtime we will not face much errors, problems. So these kind of things we'll discuss. So the thing is, what is code splitting? First thing is it. Okay. So before going to start, you have the idea about the GWT. So in the GWT, once we are going to be loading the application, at that time all the JS files going to be downloaded. So with this code splitting, what we can do is we can control to download all the JS files. How we control is control in the sense, at the starting time we no need to download all the JS files. We need to download only the needful files at the starting point. You got my point? That is the main agenda of to using this code splitting. So the main agenda is to be reduce the code. So I'm going to start. I have very small presentation I created for this, and that is the agenda is, so GWT code splitting. After that we'll discuss GWT performance improvement and new features. Even that's we already discussed at the morning time. So I'll remove that one. So now the question comes is need of code splitting. So even I give you very small idea, but still I'll give you some more in-depth detail about that. So it's first thing is we need to understand, like as per the conceptually. So what we are doing is we wrap a piece of code in async block. For this we need to use some async mechanism. After that we are able to implement this one. So it's more like a similar to the GW like RPC calls, but still the changes over here. It's very fast process which is directly communicating with your code base from wherever it's going to be downloading. So it's not be the kind of functionality which is at the back end it's going to be performed and at the front end it's going to be displayed. It's not like that. And later, so the need of JavaScript is, as I already told you, once at the starting all the JS files is going to be downloaded. We need to be stop that functionality. We want to be control to download only the needful files once is it required. So what is code splitting? The basically code splitting is splitting your complete JS files into a different chunks. So those chunks will be downloaded as per the user need. Once user will be navigate to that place, only that corresponding JS file is going to be downloaded. Apart from that, no need to be downloaded. Like suppose I'm this like suppose I have one bank application and I am the saving account holder. Once I'll access the bank applications, so that time what happen is I just need to downloaded only the saving account related information. I don't need to be downloaded the current account, and I don't want to be credit card related all the JS files. I don't need that one. So here also with if suppose I open this our applications HPC, so there even I'm using the heat map, at that time only the heat map related files going to be downloaded. No need to get the other files which is already with there. So that is the main agenda. So that the code splitting is providing that kind of functionality to be controlling your code. How is it controlling? For that we need to write some code. I'll tell you GWT.async call. So I'll tell you one by one. Flow of code splitting. So the flow is like from pagination. Otherwise, as per the event wise, we can perform at any place. Limitation is for this at least require the iframe linker. There are so many other linkers also, cross sites or like once you know the become the about code splitting, so you need the iframe linker. If you are using the other linkers, so that time it won't work. So for iframe linker will link your code with the wherever is the next upcoming code. You get my, that is the internally will done. By default is the iframe linker. You no need to do anything.
Iframe linker is another API or what is that?
No, it's internally it's linking once, like suppose here. Even this is just our small application. So I'll tell you one more thing. So here you can see this is the iframe linker, which is linking your JS files, and itself it is providing your the history mechanism, activities, places, all these things will be performed by the iframe. So iframe will take care between the code and your browsers communications, like non cache to cache files. So this will take care. So this is just even it's supporting the history also be. So all these things. So this is the default one, which is come with the default project. In this presentation, at the bottom I mentioned the definition about the primary linker. There are all the secondary linkers, but they are not included here. Is responsible for creating your JS HTML file, then host into the compiled JS files code, and of course how to bootstrap load into the browser. So it will take care. If suppose at the once you loading your login page, that time the corresponding login.js files will be downloaded. It's not be like that any other file will be downloaded. So it will take care all these kind of functionalities. Internally it will take care all these things. Okay. So if here I mention some more things, once you know that it becomes obvious, then they have the explicit support code splitting. So we need to write something for supporting the code splitting. Okay. So shall I start with the how you get the idea how and why, what is the need of the code splitting?
Flow of code splitting, what is it?
Flow is like, actually suppose it completely depends on your application. Once my login page, you at least you know once my application is going to be started, which is my login page. So when you know your login page, so at your first code splitting will be applied at your login page. Once user is properly logged in, that time the next page related JS file will be downloaded. That is the sequence. Now the second page is perfectly loaded. After that only the third page will going to be downloaded. You get my point now? Yes, that's the sequence. That's what I'm saying. It's the flow. How your application going to be flow. Even suppose at single page also be, once user click on the button only, then the button related operation going to be downloaded at that time. Got it now? So that is how it is. So Mahesh, clear? Okay. So now now we'll come to the very small code split. How we are going to be writing the code splitting. So this is identify the first. You need to identify your code split, where we need to specify the code splitting. Okay, now because it's little bit tough, I can say, is because you need to justify this place is really required the code splitting or not. Because if you are creating more code splitting, that is also be harmful. If you are creating less, that's also be harmful. So it's in the balanced form, because when you are creating multiple code splitting, then the compiler completely maintaining only the splitting. So at that time same kind of code is going to be splitted at multiple places, and after that your compiler is going to be merging, fragment creation. So there are so many operations will going to be performed that are also be harmful. So first you need to identify your places where you need to provide the code splitting. How you are going to provide the code splitting for with the gwt.run async, and in that one you need to pass the run async callback. Okay, here I'm just giving you the example, and later we'll go with the code also. There will implement everything. So on failure, it throws exceptions. If anything like unwanted things will be performed only then this, like server disconnected, there is no network in between that, and like abrupt and any unexpected exceptions, then only will be thrown. So but on success, once your the related JS will going to be downloaded. So here you can perform any operation. It's not be the mandatory. It's not it. You can compare. It's more like RPC, but it's much faster than the RPC, because in RPC you are going to be perform operation on your data. Here there is no performing data here. Here the code is going to be linking. You are providing the linking and corresponding code will going to be downloaded. You get my point now? So on success, just here you will write the further code, like the next page is you are going to be initiating new widgets. That initiation is going to be happening here. Like here once user click on login page, if is it successful, then only you are going to show a message you logged in, anything like hello GWT, I just put it there. So that kind of things will be happening with this. So before I am going further, I'll just explain you something. And how do you know my code is splitted properly or not? So first I'll tell you the compilation process. Till now you didn't see this kind of folder, this extras folder. So whenever you want to see your compilation, like the code splitting is happening or not, for that what you need to do is go to the compile GWT compiler. Here are one advanced option, go to here, and here you just need this -compile report. That will generate one compile report of your complete JavaScript GWT compilation. How the 6 permutation is happen, everything. So once you click on the compile, it will compile and make a 6 different permutations. As it is like that, already I did that. After that it adds one more extra folder, is that extras. So here have your project related all the details. So I'm going at the navigation place. This is also at my workspace GXT 3.0. Here I have one extras folder. In the extras, the same hierarchy. So here have reports. Yes. So here you will get this compile report. Once you enter in this one, here I have one index page. Click on this. Very first time it will give you this kind of overview of permutations. So this is for your Firefox, Opera, IE8, IE10. Here these are the other like your IE6. So whatever the permutation which you provided. So apart from that, here are the two compile metrics. So this is also be one part. I'm not going to that. Excuse me. There are one more feature is split point report. This split point reports give you your code splitting points. Once you click here is the location. Currently we didn't provide any kind of split point. That's why here are the, so very first time this is the full code size 250713 bytes. So whenever I'll run this application, this number of bytes going to be downloaded at the browser. And initial download size is the same one. There is no leftover code. Everything will be going to download it at the initial stage. So is this clear now? How for the every browsers you can see with the every browsers. So once you will run. But if we perform this code splitting, how it behaves is that is the most important part. Like, shall we start some small coding? So with that you will get some good idea. Thank you giving me this opportunity. Okay, so I just want to do some operations. Okay, I'll go back with the old code which I have. I just need to do some small modification. So like name field, So here we have a one okay, send button. I need this send button. Not BTM. So I'm just going to be perform this code splitting on click.
Okay.
How we are going to do is here we have some code. Okay, here I'm going to be perform the code splitting for this. Okay, this section anywhere. Actually, my intention is over here is, so I'll just delete this one. Once user click on click, so after that this send name to server, and this complete code you can see here, this complete code of related to send to server will be downloaded only when user click on send. Till that this code will not be downloaded. My intention of putting the code splitting is this section of code. This send named to server will be called only when user click on button. Okay, so here I'm going to be perform run async callback. So it will provide, and on success what you need to do is you're on here you. So with this, and in the failure case you can pass any kind of message. Yeah, otherwise you can do one thing is get a stack trace. Okay. Okay, this is fine. This is the just simple process which I did. On the button click, till here we don't have anything, so I'll just place it here. You no need to, this is not be the part of your running application. You don't need to debug anything. So here again I'm going to be compiling this application, because I already set with this. You just again check with this, is it compile report is not, and once I'll again compile this one, see the difference. This is the permutation, compilation, everything is the same one. Just give some times to compile once again this one. So this time is this compilation process is creating the compile report also be split point, generating permutations, all the operations are going to perform together with this system. Okay. So all the things are going to be happening.
Normally it will be helpful when you will be having 2 or 3 modules. And
yeah, exactly. Even in the single module also be is very helpful. So for the 3 permutations created, 4. Yeah, here you go. Perfect. So this compilation process is done. So you just refresh this one also, and better we are going with the file system. There have the extras, sync report, compile report. Here we need to find index dot the same. But now the difference is, what is the difference did you find over here is one entry comes. So previously the full code size is 257 or 690, and the same one will be going to be downloaded at the initial stage. But now we reduce the 10 bytes of code putting one code split. So in this, what it's mentioning is in the my handler class, on click will be performed only when user click on that. So that portion of code will be downloaded at this. So it will give you the some kind of information regarding to that also. So this is at the complete at the client side. So here this 10 bytes, you just save your 10 bytes with the one split point. So if you perform the multiple split points, you can reduce your as much as possible your code. Currently we are going to be putting at the single file, like this is a single file, so we just save the 10 bytes only. Think of it, when you have the multiple files, and file itself is going to be initializing on the basis of code splitting. So that time you save lots of time. You get my point? The clarity in this. So now the next one is shall I proceed this one? Is it clear programmatically? So here I just created one small diagram. So this is my, suppose the normal basically non-cache file which calls to your cache files. So that is your initial page to be like iframe will communicate with your corresponding JS file. JS file will like the all cache files going to be communicated. So that is the initial downloading page, your HTML page. Okay, that internally communicate with your cache file, cache.jsp file. So in that is the initial fragment. First link to code downloaded. Here I mentioned about the all steps. After that, once all the initial fragments is going to be downloaded, the rest of them put into the leftover fragment. In the UI also be the leftover code, that is the leftover fragment. Clear till here? After that, here have the different cache.js. So this one file is a different JS is internally created. So that will be downloaded as per the need. That's why here we are going to be applying our code splitting, and that will call the corresponding JS as per the requirement. This portion will be called as per the need. You got my point? So here have the actual process is going on. So like here I mentioned a fragment, this will call as per the need. So all the exclusive fragments will be called as per the need. Here and again I write some more features. The complete functionality I written over here, so it's more easy to understand for this concept. Shall we move further? So it will shows the once we are generated the compile report, that will give you the overall size, Java package, code type, literal type, and strings. So once you go with this, so there have some more types. Currently it's not coming all others. So here it gives you the complete details. Where is it put? What kind of like there have. And I'm not getting this. Like the string is the 0 byte occurrence, but what kind of values? So there are so many things with this. So it will be compile report will be generated Java on which package of Java, code type which kind of code, and from which class, literals, and type of strings and whatever that is. So this is the fragment breakdown. You are completely breaking down your complete code into different fragments. So that is the fragment breakdown. One is the fragment merging. Later we will talk about that one also. That is the fragment merging. There what we are doing is we are merging all these fragments which is performed there. Any kind of fragments. Okay, and there are some kind of dependency, as I told you. Once user logged in, only then the other points of will be performed. So for this I put one most common examples for that. Executing something is left over the initial download. First is the whatever the initial downloaded. After the rest of the codes will be based on that. To find out why a browser is this item, view the initial subset. Once you click on the item, you can look at the chain of the dependency loading chain. So once it's loaded, after that the initial second part will be downloaded, and once user reach there, then only the next part will be downloaded. So this is the complete chain for the dependencies. We can make a dependency as per the need. This is the general like fragment or dependencies. Now we will discuss about the specifying an initial load sequence. This is now I'm going to step by step further. Internally, how is it going to be performed? So like even you can automate your sequence. Like my application has sometimes the how is it perform is some of the time you need to at the initial stage also you need to specify. Okay, first this one and only this one will be performed automatically. No need to be the user interaction. Till that I have the user interaction. But sometimes what happens is some conflict is okay. I'm downloading 10 files, but in 10 files it may be happen to the 2 are the similar kind of files and 2 are creating the conflicts. So for that, it's if you provide the sequence, so this file will be downloaded at this time, this file will be downloaded at this time. That is the sequence you can specify, the initial load sequence. So for the sequence, you need to put something in your some specific file. I'll tell you. Wait. In the GWT, like module.gwt.xml, there you need to specify the external configuration property, and here you need to specify the sequence. So this is the main portal, and this is the sequence. So when you provide this sequence, it will execute as per the provided. And yeah, here I need to change. So here, yes, here you can provide your names. All the names of files. First this file will be loaded, second this file will be loaded, third this one, and fourth this one. So all these files will be come into this sequenced way. So this is how. If you know the split point in your application will come first, you can improve in your application performance on the initial load sequence. At the initial time also you can specify at the and after that, okay, you don't want any kind of ambiguity, so that these files will be loaded in the sequence form, because once logged in and only then this file will be loaded. Those kind of things. This is just automate the functionality. So for this even I put some more details over here. Clear? And after that, some of the time what happening is this is the another way, the prefetching. So the way to force prefetching is simply to call to run async in a way that its callback doesn't actually do anything. When the application later call that run async related code will be available. So very first time what happening is sometimes okay, I'm going to be loading my grid, but when I'm calling my grid size is very high. So what I'm doing is at the back, at the one user click on the grid, before that I'll load my data. So grid loading time will be the different at the UI side. There is no operation is going to be performed. Okay, na? So that time I can utilize the CPU space to be and the network space to get the data in the backend. So some of the time we need to be prefetch the data before going to be perform any action. So that time we need to run this one. So like the show content, I need the information regarding like this policy equals to null. Otherwise I need to check with this. Otherwise if the policy in related information is already there, then we can compare with this. Otherwise suppose like login have the details, and after that also be I can again the grid wise I can tell you. And there are so many places where you need the information first, only then you can process further. So there also you can split this, perform this prefetching. This is the one way.
This one should be there in which file? In the main file?
No. Everything will be done on the basis of GWT run async. But the placement where you are writing the code, that will be the way is technique of this one. Like you previously, you can say na this what we call is like they have the models like MVC pattern, Upfakit pattern, yeah, like like a singleton pattern, design patterns. So this is one of the design pattern of the code splitting.
Okay.
You get my point, na? So this is the one of the way when you need the data, like prior to calling something. Like I need to call my another async once I need the my ID. So that for the ID, I'll
If you write this code in a class,
yes.
first this code will is called.
Yes.
After that only your init method or whatever method it will call.
Yes. So if I need to call my init, I need some more information for that. So prior that one, this will work. First,
By default it will call that.
yes. So pre-fetching.
If I put there is one method or constructor or whatever we have, and we are calling that UI, okay, and you have init method and all, and you put this before init call or after init call.
No, not like that. I'll just explain it. Come here, there. You can see. I have one method. Then I have one method. I'll just give you the more clarity. I have one method. Here I passed one policy ID. Okay. This is I'm passing into one method, but here I have the run async call. So your async call comes to on success. Here, this policy ID. Even if this policy ID equal to null hai, it's empty. So before performing anything, we do not do nothing, just a prefetching. So here we are going to be first fetch this ID, then only this content will be performed. Some of the time it's happened now, like even we don't have this kind of information, again user going to be performing. So we are going to be restricting over here. So both the ways. Now you got it right. Yes. Like previously we have this is the fragment breakdown. Here I have the fragment merging also. So here you can see like here leftover code. In the leftover code is E1, E2 and E3, E4. These are the different shared code. What I did is like internally this will also be happen internally automatically. You no need to do anything. I just want to clear this one. Internally what happen is these two different fragments going to be merged into the single fragment which is contain both the 4 that will automatically take care by the GWT compiler. And forcefully if you want to do, and you can do, they have some the way of and the procedure to be do the fragment merging and fragment breakdown also be. So this is how we learn. I'll just put this code upside so somehow the definition is there. This is going to be. Now you have the clarity in this. Okay. So this is the fragment merging also. So after that, another one is coding pattern for code splitting. Now, as I told you, design patterns like have the same as the coding pattern. How we need to do is like once the NA module is going to load it, we are doing something. So do something else. So this one will be calling from the place whenever the module is going to be loaded, and we need to perform anything else. So best is whenever you are creating the instance of any class, that time use this one. So till that there is no initiation will happen. You get my point, na? Whenever you need to initiate, like at the very first time it's null. So it will create your instances. Otherwise client on success and pass the same instance. Yes, that's kind of. So this is the one of pattern which we can use in this. There are so many things with the client code splitting. So now we'll come with the performance improvement. So how we can improve our performance of the GWT. So the basic thing is RTT, round trip, because as much as we need to reduce the round trip of calling from the client to server. So round trip times. So RTT is round trip time. So make it for the DNS we are creating one round trip. Otherwise for the login, for there are some more operations now. Like this is, I'm just giving you the best practices, that's it. So for the one is one round trip times for the TCP connections, because very first time when user enter, first it will goes to check with the internet connections. After that your HTTP internally communicates with TCS, TCP IP. Then one request goes to the server and client. Once the connection will in the response get the okay, you are connected successfully comes. After that your URL goes to the server, fetch this URL. These are the number of round trips is going between very first time when the application is going to be loaded. So the first thing is reduce as much as round trips of time. Okay, so one round trip for the HTTP request and HTTP response. You get my point now? So what is this? What we need to do is minimize DNS lookup, minimize redirects from one to another, use the existing one, avoid bad requests. Bad requests, if the file is not found or not exists there, so that time your server will take time to be search in the complete location for relative files. If not found, then we'll get some kind of errors. That time we'll get that error. Okay, so preferred async resources. Why not sync resources? Because at the same time we can run the multiple synchronous calls at the same times. So that's why that is the better is to use the run async call. Now in the GEE6 also we can directly use the run async call also. They also implement these kind of things. So continue. Don't use this document.write in GWT also. Minimize request overhead. Unnecessarily don't put more than 1244. If is it more than 1024 bytes, make it in the split frames, make it in the frames. Minimize request size, that is the serve static content from the cookies, less domain. Okay. Parallelize download across host names. Use the IP, don't use with the host names. So new features, as I already discussed at the morning time, UI validation enhancements. So this is just, so with this document, some more frequently asked questions which I faced it, I put it there. So this is how my complete presentation regarding the code splitting. So I took your valuable. Sorry?
Document write. Where you write?
Document, which document?
No, document write something like that. Avoid document write.
Document.write. This is in the JavaScript, na? Do you remember in the whenever you are using JSNI, JavaScript native interface, that time don't use this one.
Minimize request overhead.
These are the basic practices. So in this I'm just going to be, this is how we can use it. And in the code wise, gwt.run async is the syntax to need to use. New run async callback. There or this with this interface have the two methods, on success and on failure. In the on failure you can put your code, and whenever it is going to be on failure case. Otherwise once you will go to this file, so on failure calls when the browser might no longer network access, that time it will gives this error. Okay, so here have that. So here it's mentioned whenever it's called, otherwise on success will perform your whatever you want, whatever the operation is going to be performed, that is it. So once you will go this code, so this is containing 10 bytes, so that will be reduce the space on that server.
This is there in GXT as well.
All the this is the part of GWT.
Yeah.
So now GXT accept all the things. So there is no much difference in that one. So it will accept all everything. No much difference is that.
Okay.
So any question regarding that, Mahesh?
No, I think
It's clear. So this is really, it's very good. Whenever we start the implementation, that time we'll implement and it's more helpful. So I'll just open the, and yeah. So in the today's activity, I think everything is completed.
tomorrow is there any activity?
So tomorrow we'll discuss about that one also. So this is completed.
Yeah.
So tomorrow we will discuss about the MVP and activity and places and deferred binding. Okay. So for the now onwards,
Thank you.
thank you so much. Thank you, Mahesh.